This week's Parsha is Parsha Chayei Sarah, which translates to the life of Sarah. And in this week's Parsha, in the beginning, Abraham selects a burial place for his wife, for Sarah. He doesn't spare any expense. He goes above and beyond to purchase the most expensive, most beautiful property for his wife, for her to be laid to rest. And just as Abraham has taken care of his wife and he recognizes the beautiful partnership that they have shared and spent together throughout their lives, Abraham decides that it's time for his son Isaac to find a wife as well. And Abraham's an older man, so he sends his most trusted advisor, Eliezer, to return to Abraham's homeland to find a quality, good wife for Isaac, for his son Isaac. And Eliezer decides that his litmus test to decide if this is going to be the right woman for Isaac or not is that Eliezer is going to wait by the well with his camels. And when the young women, when the maidens approach, he's going to see who not only offers him water, but offers water for his camels as well. Who is extra thoughtful, who is kind, and goes a little bit further. So Eliezer arrives at this well, and he's waiting, and the maidens come, the young women come. And sure enough, this young woman comes and offers him water, and she even holds up the water so that he doesn't have to hold it himself, thinking he might be tired. She holds up the water for him, and when he finishes drinking, she offers to water all of his camels as well. Now, who is this young woman? This is Rebecca, who we know was going to become the wife of Isaac. And Eliezer doesn't know who she is, but he sees, oh wow, look, this woman did exactly what I asked for. She brought water for me, and she's offering to water my camels. And there's a certain, behind the scenes, there's a certain amount of intentionality and purpose behind the actions of Rebecca. Things were a little bit more difficult than they seem when you're just reading through the text. But as commentators note, normally Rebecca was such a righteous person that the water would rise to her level. The water would rise from the well so that she wouldn't have to struggle to get the water out and physically exert herself. The water would come to her. But on this day, on this occasion, the water did not come to her. So not only for Eliezer, but for his camels, she had to bring up the water herself, physically exerting herself more than usual to bring him the water. But she didn't complain, she didn't say anything, she just did it. And additionally, she was thoughtful enough to hold up the water for Eliezer. Who does that? That's such a sweet thing to do, to hold up the water for somebody to drink. That's really going above and beyond. And with regards to Eliezer's camels, she could have watered them one by one, but instead she filled up the trough and let each camel come to this big basin of water, so that way they could all drink at the same time. There wouldn't have to be one camel waiting while the other ones had the ability to drink already. She decided she would water all of them at the same time. Equal opportunity. And all of these little details really, they don't go unnoticed. When we look at the commentary and we look at Eliezer selecting her for a wife, after Rebecca does these actions, Eliezer gives her gifts. He gives her rings and jewelry. He gives her these gifts before he even knows what her name is or who she is or who her family is or where she comes from. He can see the goodness of this woman without even knowing her name. So, as we know, Rebecca becomes the wife of Isaac. And I think that we can learn a lot from Rebecca as one of our matriarchs. We could say in our own lives that we could go a little bit further. We can go the extra mile. We can do just a little bit more for our loved ones and for the people who are important to us, or even for complete strangers. There's always that awkward distance when you don't know if you should hold open the door for someone or not. Well, maybe hold open the door. I'm sure that the person's going to notice, and I'm sure they'll be thankful, and I'm sure you're going to stand out as that person who held the door open for them just a little bit longer than everyone else. And even if it doesn't go noticed, even if the other people aren't recognizing it, you know inside that you did a little bit more, a good mitzvah, a good deed, a little bit of an intentional, it guided your action in an intentional way. Additionally, some other examples or ideas: if your spouse is coming home from a long day, maybe fill up the bath for them or have dinner ready just a few minutes early, or buy them their favorite treat, or bring home flowers for your wife, or take your kids out for ice cream. Do something a little bit extra, something that brings a smile to the face of your loved ones, and I'm sure that doesn't go unnoticed, and it makes you feel good, and it makes them feel good and appreciated and valued, and that brings for a wonderful family unit and a good bond. And it doesn't go unnoticed in your eyes. You feel good. It doesn't go unnoticed in the eyes of the ones you do it for. They are appreciative, and God, the one who really counts, He is appreciative and knowing and sees everything, even when others don't. And so My message this week is that I hope we can all be a little bit more like Rebecca in her going above and beyond and going the extra mile to do good, to go extra for others without complaint, without unhappiness, to go with a good spirit in order to do the right thing. I hope you all have a wonderful week and a Shabbat Shalom, and I look forward to speaking with you next week.